Call to order City of Forest Park Council meeting number 1252, June 1, 2015. Let's stand for the pledge, please.
Allegiance to the flag
Of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Clerk, call the roll, please.
Burns. Otto.
Here.
Herbie.
Here.
Holt.
Here.
Johnson.
Here.
Lives.
Here.
Southall.
Here. Is there a motion, Councilwoman Herbie?
I would move to excuse Councilman Burns.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded that we excuse Councilman Burns. Any questions? Any discussion? All those in favor of the motion to excuse, let it be known by the sign of voting aye.
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 Opposed? Councilman Burns is excused. Next item on the agenda, item number 2, minutes. You all received copies of the minutes in your packets. Are there any additions, corrections, or deletions from the minutes? Hearing none, the minutes will stand approved as issued. Next item on the agenda is presentations. I have no listed presentations for the evening. Does anyone else have presentations? Hearing none. Item number 4, communications from the public. This is a time for citizens to comment on matters before council or to ask questions of concern to them. When recognized, please come forward to the podium, give your name and address, and then state your comment or questions. Council meetings are tape recorded for ease of transcriptions. Comments are limited to 5 minutes. Is there anyone from the public who would like to address the council? Would you come to the podium, sign in, and tell us who you are, and give us your address, please?
My name is John Poston III. I'm 72 years old. I'm a retiree, and I reside at 1305 Longacre Drive, Forest Park. I've been a resident of Forest Park for 28 years. Now, this may not be the forum for this particular, my views, but I thought it was important that I share them with you. My wife and I have raised 3 sons here in the Winton Woods School District. Our sons are now 35, 36, and 33 years of age. We have no other relatives in the school district. We have always supported the Forest Park levies and bond issues. We were pleased to see that the fire levy passed most recently. However, it is of grave concern that the school levy did not pass. It is important to the viability of the community to have quality education for all of its citizens. Such districts invite growth and community spirit. When other communities, such as the Princeton School District, and those communities and districts to the north and east of us continue to provide not only funding, but the physical structure to support the educational opportunities for their students, I question why this community does not have the same concern and desire. I thank you for this time, and any additional time I would like to give it to my neighbor.
Excuse me, sir. Based on what you've said, your issue is with the school bond issue.
Yes, but yes.
Go ahead.
Yes.
That if you're asking why the city is not funding the schools.
No, I'm looking for more support from the general community, and I thought that this would be an opportunity to express that.
Just that's fine. That's what I was asking. Okay, thank you.
Thank you. If any additional time, may I?
Sure. Come forward, please.
Good evening. My name is Jerry Leftwich. I live at 1389 Longacre Drive. I've been a resident in Forest Park for over 20 years, since 1993. I sent a PowerPoint presentation to the clerk. I'm not sure if she got it or not.
Receive it.
You haven't received it? Okay, I sent it yesterday, so you may not have gotten to it yet. I'll follow up this week to make sure that you got it, because I don't believe that 5 minutes is going to be enough, but I'll try to give you the gist of my concern. I wanted to know what the council's vision for moving the community forward in terms of the perception of our community is compared to other surrounding communities like a Springdale or an Evendale or a Wyoming. All communities have their perceived value. And I'm a little concerned as to where ours is going, because every year it seems as though we're being asked to increase our tax base, but I'm not seeing, where my property value is going up, commensurately with the cost of our tax base. Other things like making sure we check some of the landlords who buy properties in our community and they don't, they don't follow up, they don't cut the grass, they don't maintain the property. But then those are the types of things that are detrimental to all of our property values in the community. It brings them all down as a whole. So I wanted to know what the council is thinking, as to we can do. I know some of the things are obviously to draw in business, things of that nature, but what else besides raising taxes can we do to increase the perceived value of our community currently? Thank you.
Well, were you wanting an answer now, or you wanted to wait till we get, okay. We'll wait until, when we get your, the information that you send, we will respond specifically to each of the questions or each of the statements that you have in your packet. Okay? Anyone else from the public? Hearing none, we will move next to item number 5, reports of standing committees. The first of those reports being Community Development, Mr. Burns, who is absent. Is there anyone on his committee who would have a report for Community Development? Hearing none, we'll go to next committee report, Law Committee, Councilwoman Cottle.
I have no report this evening. Thank you.
Okay, Councilwoman Cottle, are there questions for Councilwoman Cottle? Hearing none. Councilwoman Cottle, do you have any items for the agenda for next week?
No, thank you.
Let me go back to community development, because on the work session for the 8th, under community developments, we do have condemnation resolutions. We have 4 properties actually that have been condemned and that will probably be set for demolition. The third item on the agenda is Human Resources Committee, Councilwoman Holt.
I do not have a Human Resource Committee report, but as beautification, the judges will be going out this weekend, Saturday, Sunday, to judge the yards and place the signs. So make sure, the flags, so make sure your yard is looking good, up to par, so you can get one of those flags, as I try to do every year. Missed one year, but I work hard at it. With that would conclude my report. Thank you.
Any questions for Councilwoman Holt? Okay. Councilwoman Holt, I have no items on the agenda for the work session for you. Do you have any to add?
No, I do not. Thanks.
Okay. The next committee report would be Councilman Southall, Public Improvements and Facilities.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I do not have a report for public improvement and facilities this evening. However, I would answer any questions if there be any.
Any questions for Councilman Southall? Hearing none, Councilman Southall, do you have any items for the agenda for the 8th?
No, I do not, sir, not at this time.
There will be one item added under public improvement for discussion on the 8th, and that will be street/road improvement. And the next committee report will be public safety. Councilman Lives.
Thank you, Mayor. Just a brief report that, once again, the fire department has placed in their departmental reports some safety items for the summer that are good to review. And again, those reports are available to the public if you want to go through and look at some of the items for your safe summer. Also, the police department report, Sergeant Tony Pope participated in Law Enforcement Expo at Tri-County Mall. This was on the 16th and 17th of May. It's important to know that the police department had a booth, one of our cruisers, and a display board, and it allowed a lot of contact with members of the community as we try and outreach and show the items of equipment and the type of police department we have. Also, Sergeant Pope conducted a tabletop exercise with the school to prepare them, continue to keep them prepared for any kind of emergency items or items that could take place in the school here, which is important to be trained in. And that would end my report. Thank you.
Any questions for Councilman Lives? Hearing none, Councilman Lives, I have one item on the agenda for you for the work session, and that is the Heroin Coalition Task Force. Do you have any to add?
Oh, no, sir.
Next committee report would be Ways and Means Committee, Councilwoman Herbie.
Yes. As the council members know from reading our departmental reports, our small businesses in the community are doing very well in terms of what Paul Brim is doing to retain and to recruit businesses into the community. He says there are 4 in the pipeline right now, and one of those, of course, is Steel Summit is expanding yet again, and they just did this like 2 or 3 years ago, so that's a real commitment on their part. There's also redevelopment going on in the North by Northwest, which has a different name now, right over here, that was bought by, I think it was Dan Wheeler and Target Management, and also the redevelopment of the Northland Tower. In the environmental awareness area, the biggest event most recently is the paper shredding event, which took place on Saturday, May 23rd, and 145 cars participated, and 11,000 pounds of paper were shredded. And usually the average for a first-time paper shredding event is about 4,000 pounds, so we almost tripled that. Thanks go to LaTonya Denson and her sorority, Alpha Kappa Alpha, who've also expressed, helped organize this and worked with us on this, and they expressed an interest in having this again next year. So I'm very pleased at the way that went. And that would conclude my report.
Okay, any questions for Councilwoman Herbie? Councilwoman Herbie, I have on the agenda 2 items for you. One is incentive arrangements, ATR Distributing Company, and the second one is Carolina Land Purchase. Do you have any to add?
I don't believe so, sir.
The next committee report is Intergovernmental Relations and Communications Committee. That is mine. I have no report on that committee. I would be happy to answer any questions if there are any. Hearing none, I would go to the next item, item number 6, the mayor's report. I'd just like to add my thanks to the Alpha Kappa Alpha sorority who assisted us in doing the paper shredding. It was a great event. We far exceeded our expectations in the poundage and tonnage of paper that we received and shredded. We had lots and lots of people who showed up to have paper shredded. This was a first attempt, so we only did it for 3 hours, from 10 in the morning to 2 in the afternoon. It was evident that we could have gone a lot longer, and we could have shredded a lot more papers. We do plan to look into possibilities of continuing this as an annual event for the Environmental Awareness Program Board of Directors. And again, I would like to thank all those who participated, whether they were the people who were actually bringing this paper to be shredded or those who helped to organize and put this on. And again, I add my thanks to that. That would end my report. I would answer any questions if there are any. The next item on the agenda, item 7, is the city manager's report. Mr. Hodges.
Thank you. I'll report 3 things. First, we are making significant progress on the improvement to Northland Boulevard, so that is continuing as we would anticipate. Second, we've provided the departmental reports for council and placed them on file with the clerk of council for public inspection. And then finally, I'll report that we did provide council with an executive summary of significant activity occurring in the city with various departments. So I just make the public aware in case they want to review that report. Also, I won't go through the details of that, but It represents probably the most significant activity for each of the major departments in the city. So that would conclude my report, but I would respond to any questions if there are any.
Any questions for the city manager? Hearing none, thank you, sir. We will move to item number 8, other reports, the first of those being our Law Director, Mr. Wyckoff.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I have no report tonight, other than to indicate I have provided the auditors with the necessary information regarding pending and/or threatened litigation, which currently there fortunately is none. So that will be, that's already been submitted to the auditors.
Any questions for our Law Director? Hearing none, thank you, sir. The next report on the others is Clerk of Council, Mrs. Huffman.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I'd like to report that ordinance numbers 03 and 04-2015 and resolution numbers 18 and 19-2015 were posted as required. And I'd also like to thank Administrative Assistant Joanne Lee for filling in my absence. And that concludes my report.
Any questions for Clerk of Council? Hearing none, thank you, Ms. Hoffman. Next item, there's a motion, Councilwoman Herbie.
Yes, I would move to suspend the rules requiring the reading in full on 2 separate days and read for the second time by title only ordinance number 05-2015.
Is there a second?
Second.
It's been moved and seconded that we suspend the rules requiring the reading in full on 2 separate days and read for the second time by title only ordinance number 05-2015. Is there a discussion? Councilwoman Herbie.
Just to make note that the ordinance was read for the first time by title on May 18th, and also this motion can be brought forward because it was posted as required.
Any further discussion? Hearing none, would the clerk please call the roll on the motion to suspend?
Cottle,
Yes.
Herbie,
Yes.
Holt,
Yes.
Johnson,
Yes.
Lives,
Yes.
Southall.
Yes.
The motion to suspend the rules passes 6-0. Next item on the agenda, item 9, unfinished business and general orders. Item A is ordinance number 05-2015. Is there a motion? Councilman Lives.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Yes, I move for passage of ordinance number 05-2015.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded that we adopt ordinance number 05-2015.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded that we've already done it. We moved it, you're about a little behind. Is there a discussion? Mr. Lives.
Yes, I just want to point out that, as I said, this has been read previously. This involves the operating of a motor vehicle without a valid driver's license. Excuse me.
She has to read it by title only, sorry.
Oh, sorry, got me going there when you read.
Would the clerk please read 05-2015 by title only?
Ordinance number 05-2015, an ordinance amending Chapter 75 miscellaneous of the codified ordinances of the City of Forest Park.
Okay. And we've had the motion, right?
No.
I should-
We had the
Yes.
motion to
Dave?
dispense.
Okay, Dave, would you please make the motion?
The motion
Did the motion.
Yeah.
You did do?
for the ordinance.
So you're in discussion.
So we're in discussion, Mr. Lives. That's what I
Me
thought.
again.
Yeah.
Again, just wanted to point out that this ordinance makes things a little simpler in that currently the defendant and the police department have to go down to the county court if there's a license problem involved, driver's license. This ordinance would make it a possibility that the violation would be cited to mayor's court, and nobody would have to go down and downtown to spend the money and the aggravation of finding their way downtown to the court system. Therefore, we propose this code amendment, which will allow our police officers to charge operators of vehicles that do not have a valid license, and it provides the prosecutor and the convicted the possibility of remaining here in Forest Park. Thank you.
Any further discussion? Hearing none, would the clerk call the roll on ordinance 05-2015?
Herbie,
Yes.
Holt,
Yes.
Johnson,
Yes?
Lives.
Yes.
Southall.
Yes.
Cottle.
Yes.
Ordinance, the motion passes to adopt ordinance 05-2015. Is there any further business to come before the body? Is there any further business to come before the body? Hearing none, this meeting is adjourned.